returning to the summer of 1970, and what an interesting summer it was. Chicago, 25 or 6-4. And I can remember when that song was out. There were those, especially in the religious community in this country, that thought there was something demonic about that song. I don't remember why, but that was the radio stations were being told, "Don't play that song; it's demonic." Man, they should listen to the crap that we listen to today, right, Ted?
No comment.
No comment. All right, Ted. We'll get Ted to comment in just a moment. And Ted, the way in which this segment has had an impact on people who are working under the child support system, whether you're a custodial parent, non-custodial parent, it has really had an effect. I have to tell you, Ted, each and every week that goes by, I'm blown away.
Yeah.
And for those who are listening to this broadcast, who may have called in and spoken with Ted, who may have not been involved in the child support world at all, but have said, well, gee, why do you need to have that? You cannot believe, my friends, the number of emails that I receive from listeners who say, I need to get in touch with Ted Murmagos at Child Support Services. Can you forward my email? And then I, in turn, forward that email to Ted. Hi, Ted, can you take care of it? Ted, you get back to me within minutes usually and say, even on weekends, you get back to me and say, Jake, I'll take care of it. I cannot believe. Now, I don't know whether receiving all these emails, and we said that last month, is going to have an impact on the phone calls that we get. But clearly, the fact that people know that they have some place to go when they need help, when they are concerned, when they're angry. And, let's face it, we're all human beings. And if we feel that, the system is not treating us properly, we're going to perhaps be angry and want to talk to somebody. Ted, I have to say to you, I am just blown away by the popularity of this segment. It obviously says something about where our society is, but the fact that we're doing good with this, and you were just telling me that your staff is really pleased with how this segment has helped Delawareans, right?
Yeah, and I think, it helps in a couple ways. When I walk around our offices and we publicize to our employees that, hey, I'm coming back and going to be talking to Jake, and from that, they like that I'm coming and talking about what we do at Child Support and the work that we have about 200 employees statewide, and they like.
Your department's not there to make life miserable for the average Delawarean.
Absolutely not. Right. We're there to help, and they like that I'm actually sharing what we do as a child support agency with the public, so that they know that they can come to us, and we're both. I'm certain we will talk about non-custodial parents and what we do to help them. But our employees, they appreciate the fact that we are sharing the child support mission with the state of Delaware. And then on the flip side, custodial parents and non-custodial parents, especially those emails you're sending me, I hear when I respond back to you, I'm immediately writing them, telling me, hey, I got this email from Jake, and I'm going to take a look at your situation, and I'll be in contact. Those emails, I immediately hear back from them that they're grateful that I'm reaching out to them and saying that we're going to take a closer look at their particular issues.
Ted is the director of the department. He is the director of the Division of Child Support Services. So when I send an email to Ted, you're getting that response from him, from the director. You're going right to the boss. And he is looking at your case and examining what's going on. So in essence, you're going right to the troubleshooter, and that is Ted Murmagos, the director of Child Support Services, the Division of Child Support Services. Ted, we need to take a break, but we're going to come back with your phone calls if you have any. 302-945-9292, 800-518-9292. And if you have a Verizon wireless cell phone, you can call in toll-free, pound 927. That's a free call. Compliments of Verizon Wireless on your Verizon wireless cell phone. It's our child support enforcement segment with Ted Murmagos, the director, of the Division of Child Support Services here in Delaware. Your phone calls and more about the kinds of situations that Ted's been dealing with and what he has been helping to resolve, the concerns that you have had, and the emails that we've handled. We're not going to get specific, but we are going to talk about what Ted's been able to do on the next part of our segment here with Ted Murmagos, the director of the Division of Child Support Services on 92.7 WGMD. Stay tuned. Going back to the summer of 1970 once again, Max Power, thank you. Alive and kicking. Now, we have received an email from a non-custodial parent, Ted. And again, the problems that you help out with You Assist Delawareans are not, and people from out of state, because we've gotten requests from out of state residents for help as well. Residents in Ohio, residents in Arizona. Here, and I'm not going to give out names, obviously, or anything that would be a problem, but if you want to call in and speak to Ted, you want to ask him a question, present your problem, 302-945-9292 here on Delmarva Live. Ted Murmagos, the director of the Division of Child Support Services, is here. And Ted is really a very nice man, very helpful.
Thank you, Jake.
He is a sweetheart. He really is. So, don't think you're going to get some bureaucrat who's going to be, looking down or talking with you, talking down to you. Ted is not like that. Now, let me read this email. The title of the email is "Warrant for almost $30,000, 4 exclamation points. Please help me." The listener writes in, and this we just received minutes ago. Hi, my name is, and I'm not going to give the person's name, currently have a warrant in Delaware for unpaid child support in the amount of $28,000. My ex-husband lied to the courts, and since 2018, I have been accrued an obscene balance. I was pregnant in 2018 with a high-risk pregnancy, didn't work, and then COVID happened. My ex-husband lied and took my kids to Texas, and I haven't seen them for such a long time. I can't get a job or a driver's license or even an ID. I am a single mother trying to make ends meet, and I'm stuck in the system. I don't know what to do. Please help me. There you go, Ted. This is a very sad situation. But again, we've talked about this before, where a person is in the system, they can't get a driver's license because of the unpaid child support, right?
And let me first start off by saying this, Jake. I'm glad that this is a non-custodial parent that's reaching out to us, because when you and I, when I come in and we talk, we always stress that non-custodial parents, it's so important that they don't be fearful of the child support agency.
And it's easy to be fearful of something you don't understand. Legalese and, dealing with the courts and everything. It's fearful, let's face it.
So I'm glad that this person is reaching out to us today, because there are things that we can do at the child support office, but it all starts with having that conversation, having a conversation about what the situation is and the steps that we can take to resolve that particular issue. So, let's talk about the family court capias. That's a civil bench warrant for someone's arrest for failure to show up to a court hearing or to genetic testing or something along those lines.
Right.
Those family court capias can be canceled, but the person has to go to family court to resolve that. Now, in this particular person's instance, I'd like to kind of act as the conduit. I can help. When I go back to the office, I'll look at her particular situation. I'll reach out through the Department of Justice to the family court and see if we can get that capias canceled. But there is going to need to be some sort of, on their part, participation in the process. And that means starting to get regular child support payments in the door. And we've talked about the courts have court orders that say you're to pay X amount of dollars this every month. I always stress to non-custodial parents, if you can't pay that obligation, pay something to show that you can build
a good faith effort on the part of the non-custodial parent.
Yes, to build a track record,
right?
So that the courts say, hey, this person can't pay the full amount, but they're paying something, and then go in and try to modify that child support order with the family court, and we can help this person do that, to modify it to a payment amount that they can afford to pay. But and specifically about the license, we've talked about this a ton of times. I definitely can help get that license issue resolved after a conversation with this particular person.
Ted, I think it's important for people to know, and I've talked with you. You just mentioned to me that we've been doing this for almost 2 years now.
I went back
August
and looked.
of 2019.
I went back and looked.
And you're not going to resolve this entire issue in one day.
Correct.
What you get the person to do is take the first step towards resolution.
Yes,
is that correct?
That's correct.
You get to step 1, you go to step 2. You get to step 2, you go to step 3. Am I correct in that assessment?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And even though child support doesn't deal with custody, doesn't deal with visitation, we can certainly provide individuals with, this is who you go talk to at the family court. If there's a custody order and the other party is not following that custody order, you have an avenue. You just have to take it to the family court, and they will help you, and we can help hook them up with people at family court.
Because it appears to me in talking with you over the past 2 years about these things, all the money and the visitation, all these things kind of get lumped in together, and that's where it becomes a problem, correct?
Yes, absolutely. It does, and the parties don't get along because they're not doing visitation right, and then that affects the child support payment, and that
it's like the domino effect, correct?
Yes, but I'm so glad that this non-custodial parent has reached out to us because this is somebody I definitely want to talk to because there are things at child support that can help this person get on.
I can't imagine how this person sleeps at night. She must be so worried and full of anxiety over this situation. And of course, you're going to get on that today.
Absolutely.
302-945-9292, 800-518-9292 is our toll-free number. If you're listening via the stream on the Lewis Meineke Doing Car Care Right, you want to give us a call on the Lewis Meineke Doing Car Care Right talk line. If you have a Verizon Wireless cell phone, pound 927, that's a free call, compliments of Verizon Wireless on your Verizon Wireless cell phone. You have a call, Ted Myrmagos, the director of the Division of Child Support Services, is sitting in the chair next to me. Ted would be more than willing to take your call. If you have emails as well, jake.smith@wgmd.com. If you want to get your situation brought to our attention, I will certainly get that email to Ted, as I always do. 302-945-9292. Back with more of our child support segment here on Delmarva Live after this. Ted Myrmagos is joining us, the director of the Division of Child Support Services. Give us a call if you have questions, 302-945, what am I saying, 302-945-9292, 800-518-9292, and pound 927. That's a free call, compliments of Verizon Wireless on your Verizon Wireless cell phone. So, Ted, we've had an email this morning from a non-custodial parent. And you do handle problems from custodial parents, non-custodial parents. Can you tell our listeners what is the difference? What does your department consider a custodial parent and what is a non-custodial parent?
So the custodial parent is, and they are truly our clients. Custodial parents are the ones where those are the individuals that the court has said they're the ones that are going to have primary custody or have the child most of the time. And the courts will put in place a court order for a non-custodial parent to pay child support. So the non-custodial parent may have custody or may have the child a certain number of times in their home, but they're the ones that the court has said is going to be obligated to pay the child support obligation. So we represent custodial parents. They are truly our clients per se, but as you know, we work and help custodial and non-custodial parents. Because it's so important, Jake, like we talk about, to understand the child support process.
But non-custodial parents, they don't really consider your department as their advocate, do they, Ted?
They do not.
But you are. You're supposed to be for both, correct?
Yes.
But the primary issue is to make sure the kids have what they need.
Correct. So we, as a member of the executive branch of state government, we provide a service.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
To anyone who comes in looking for child support help. Right. And that includes non-custodial parents. And I think it's almost more important to get those non-custodial parents in our door so that they can understand the child support process. And we want to help them understand that process.
If you have a question for Ted Myrmagos, the Director of Child Support Services, 302-945-9292. Now, Ted, this past week, I seemed like I was sending you an email, 1 or 2 emails every day. But clearly some of those people who would have been calling in have chosen to send an email. This is what my problem is. Can you help me? We had one just a few moments ago. Now there was an email from a non-custodial parent, and apparently this is a remarriage situation. Right. And those typically are a problem. I mean, when Nancy and I got married, and we both of us remarried, there were, child support issues that we had to deal with because we brought those issues into the marriage with us, right? Right. So, without getting very specific, tell us what you can do to help when those situations arise.
Yeah. So, you're absolutely correct. Blended families, that just adds another level of complexity. And, we certainly want to try to help people understand the process, and when we receive, sometimes the non-custodial parent may not be able to communicate with the child support office, and they ask their current spouse to intervene. And we have to be very careful, Jake, about third party. Even though they're married, we certainly cannot provide child support case information to a current spouse of a non-custodial parent. But we can certainly, work with them to, either get the non-custodial parent or to call us, and we can work directly with that person. Or we can certainly provide general child support information to the spouse, and so that they can work with their current spouse to help move the case along.
Right.
But it does add certainly another level of complexity to the situation, because that spouse now takes on, their spouse's responsibilities.
Why, and for argument's sake, let's just say the husband was paying child support, comes into a new marriage. The wife is now cutting checks to the ex-wife.
In some cases, yes.
and that really, that can generate problems and questions and things, and you may have to deal with that.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, it's your department's job to make sure that the court-ordered child support is being paid.
Right.
And what you try to do is kind of smooth out the rough edges to get that done, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Anything we can do to get that, that's the bottom line, is making sure that child support is coming in the door so that it can go out to the custodial parent and the child, and so that their needs are being met. And we'll try to do what we can to work with current spouses. I'm never going to turn somebody away who wants to find out, how do I get child support in the door? Whether it's a current spouse, whether it's an employer, whether it's a mother of a non-custodial parent. Sometimes moms and dads of that non-custodial parent are paying the child support for their kid, for their grandchild, So we try to...
And we've had calls like that.
Yes.
We have had calls from grandparents.
Yeah, absolutely.
302-945-9292. It is a gorgeous day out there. Low humidity that... we weren't supposed to have rain last night, Ted. I don't know if you got any rain up in
Kent County. No.
We had rain down here. It wasn't forecast. We had it, but it cleared out the humidity. It is a gorgeous day out there.
Yeah.
Let's find out. Let's get our latest TrueCast, and then we'll take your calls with Ted Myrmegos, the Director of Child Support Services, 302-945-9292. We are having a summer breeze, Max. Thank you. Oh, my goodness. We are, Ted and I were just talking, actually, about the tornado damage a year ago up in Kent County along Route 1 parallel. The tornado went, I think it was 29 miles, Ted, did that tornado.
Yes.
And the damage is still as clear as day. And you can see the trees that were stripped, damaged, still don't have leaves on them. I mean, it was just, what damage that tornado did.
It really looks, and you're right, there's a clear line of, you can see exactly where that tornado
it's like a bulldozer that
those
went,
trees are still,
a giant bulldozer. Yeah, absolutely. Let's hope that never happens again.
Oh.
But there are businesses that still have not reopened because of that. The damage was so severe. If you have a call, a question for Ted Myrmegos, the Director of Child Support Services, the Division of Child Support Services here in the First State, 302-945-9292. Now, Ted, I've sent you a number of emails just over the past week. I asked you most of them are non-payment of child support issues. Can you look at my case? I haven't received payments or anything you can do. That's basically what you're handling, correct? Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, and like we were talking about, it does give me an opportunity to look at the case myself and to see, and I communicate directly with the child support specialist who's assigned to that case, and
they're the caseworker. Yeah,
the caseworker, and I can say to them, look, have you tried, in this one particular case, locating the non-custodial parent was what we needed to do. And, I did a little locate on my own and found them and sent that information to the worker and said, hey, have you tried other locate tools that we have, and suggested some ideas. And they, have taken the next steps on the case to try and nail down a location. And we have to verify, we can't just tell the court, hey, he's or she is living at this particular address unless we verify it. And we do that with sending postmaster letters to they get mail at a certain address, or looking at DMV records in Delaware and in other states to verify a location.
Right. Yeah, because you're dealing with other states at some time as well, right?
Yep. So it does give me a way to communicate with the worker on some things that I think that, we're not perfect either. We make mistakes, and it's a way for me to communicate with the worker about steps that I think they may have missed, or to communicate with with the custodial parent or the client on what we are doing to try and verify something. So, it's never a perfect situation, but payments is really the issues that we hear the most of, not getting the payments, and obviously we want to try to make that happen.
302-945-9292. And what Ted and I suspected, that there'd be fewer calls this week because those people who would have called in have emailed, and Ted has responded to those emails. And you can send those emails to jake.smith@wgmd.com. What I do, my friends, is immediately forward that email on to Ted, and then Ted responds to it immediately. It's not like you're going to hear back from him in 10 days or 2 weeks. Ted responds to you immediately and indicates that he's going to follow up.
Yep,
right?
absolutely. And we do that. And, there's nothing more. It happened yesterday, Jake, from another non-custodial parent. And it happened to be another female non-custodial parent. We got her tax money, paid off her arrears. We're going to cancel a wage withholding at an employer. We're going to tell the courts to cancel the child support order. And she responded back to me that she's in tears because it's over. She's so happy that the child support situation is over. And it's got to be a big burden off the shoulders of non-custodial parents.
Again, Ted, I know you've said this many times. We can't say it enough. If you've got a concern, if you need assistance, ask for it. The structure is there to give you assistance, and if you get these things resolved, isn't that better than having them hanging over your shoulders all the time?
Yes.
And again, it's taking the first step. They go with first step, step 2, step 3. Ted, what's the situation with family courts right now? Can you tell us?
Yeah, we at the Child Support Office, we work closely with the family court. They are open for business. Nothing has changed. Someone can go into family court, meet with people in their resource center to file documents with the family court. The Child Support Office, we have 3 offices statewide, and they are open. And we are working very quickly here now, Jake, because the state of emergency is being canceled in July. We've already been working and continue to work quickly on how we're going to open our doors back up and let the customer come back into the child support offices without having to make that appointment. We talk about an appointment only to come into the child support office. We're going to be changing that soon so that customers can come into the office and meet with people individually. So we're looking forward to make that happen in a safe environment, continuing to be safe and stuff like that.
302-945-9292, 800-518-9292, and pound 927. That's a free call. Compliments of Verizon Wireless on your Verizon Wireless cell phone. Ted, for those who will be coming in the office, are there any restrictions with respect to masks? I know. Okay, so they'll still have to wear masks in public buildings. Is that?
State offices, they're required to wear a mask. If they don't have a mask, we can give them one. But it's still, for right now, Jake, it's still by appointment only. And I'm going to give the customer service telephone number. It's 302-577-7171. We're asking to call that number first. And we'll triage your situation and really determine whether you need to come into the office. That's going to be changing, and probably, but the next time I come down and talk with you, I'll have some more information about that. But for right now, it's by appointment only, and you have to have a mask. And I'm really excited to get things back to normal. And we like when people come into our offices. We don't want to have to restrict and restrict people to come in. So we're looking forward to that.
Now, I know and you've told me this in the past, that the summer months are a little on the quiet side in your office, and then right before school, when the custodial parents need money to get clothes for the kids for school, they need school supplies, you see an increase in activity. Is there any reason, especially as kids are going to go back to school physically in person in the fall, is there any reason to believe that that's not going to be the case this year?
Not that I'm aware of. We like we talked about, before school starts, we do see an increase in telephone calls, an increase in traffic in our offices, and we try to help them get ready for the school year.
And that's going to come up in August. That's going to start in August. It's not going to be that far away.
Nope. Yep, you're right.
Now, Ted, the person that emailed us that is going through that problem with child support has just sent me a follow-up email.
Okay.
And she says, I've been dealing with this stress for too long, and I've just been too scared to reach out. It's literally been killing me for 3 years. Thank you for your help. That's very nice.
Yeah.
And really, that's what it's about. I mean, you know that you're doing something to resolve it. And to the person who just sent me that email. It's not going to go away overnight, but you feel a lot better once you know you've gotten through step one, Ted, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. And Jake, that is step one. The contact is step one. And I want to let them know, I'm gonna take me an hour to get back north to Dover, and they'll hear from me within an hour and a half, and that's step one. And we're gonna, I don't want to say like hold your hand, but I'm gonna hold your hand through this process, and we'll get it resolved.
Because everybody wins then. The kids win, you win,
Yep.
The custodial parent wins. But Ted, you have been coming down here for almost two years now, and we've made a difference. We've certainly gotten some situations resolved, which invariably help the kids, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
It's about helping the children.
And I appreciate, Jake, you giving your email address out. The very first time, it's funny, the first time you asked me to give my email address, it's like, my name is so long, it's so hard to, it's hard to spell.
But they can go on the website and just click on, they can,
they
send an email to me, and they do, and
I
it
appreciate
works.
that. We appreciate that.
But it certainly gives us an opportunity at the station to see that we are doing some good with this segment.
Yeah, absolutely.
The FCC likes that. They like when you're community minded and you're doing a lot of work, for the community, and you're making things better for the community. That certainly helps. But Ted, thanks so much for coming back. And Ted and I have been on diets now for about a year, right?
Yeah. Since the pandemic.
Yeah. How many pounds have you lost now? Ted is skinny.
About 50
Wow.
50 pounds. I credit my wife. I'll give her credit because she's out with me. We're walking, and so
you lost 50. I've lost 30.
That's great, man.
It's good to get back into your old clothes again.
Yes, it is.
Sure.
Yes, it is.
It's good to get back.
Well,
Ted,
thank you, Jake.
God bless you. Thanks so much. And we'll see you, I guess, in another month.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
My friends, you're listening to Delmarva Live. My thanks to Ted Myrmagos and those of you who listened to the segment, those of you who emailed us. Obviously, these are issues. I've already sent the person who sent the last email. I've already sent that email to Ted, to Ted's attention. I'm sure you'll be hearing from them soon.